Let's do it.
Okay, so today we're going to go ahead and talk about a few things that's very important. We're going to talk about confidence. We're going to talk about voice agent. We're going to talk about Replit, and we're also going to talk about how to pull all this together. The very nice voice with the ElevenLabs. I'm joined by my friend here, Kaiser, all the way from beautiful Toronto, Canada. And what gave you this idea of putting together a voice coach to help improve confidence?
Right. First of all, Rich, thank you for having me today. Really love to share the thought process behind this idea. Um, I'll say what gave me this motivation to build this is earlier in my career, one of the most common feedback I've got from my peers or even from my leaders is like, I need to sound more confident. I need to sound more confident. It's just the way how I speak, how I was naturally have this really soft voice, and the way I present myself with this really soft spoken way. It really undermines my influence and leadership qualities in the teamwork situations. So that was one of the feedback I got early in my career. And then I was lucky enough to have like great leaders and great mentors who brought me under their wings and trained me to where I am today. But looking back, right, this is one of the things I wish they teach you in school is how how one should sound differently in different situations and how one should train their voice who frankly nobody really get like formal training on the voice and how to speak, right? I wish they teach these things in school back in the days so that we don't run into that kind of situations. So this is why I decided to nowadays use Replit in this case and ElevenLabs to help me build this tool that allows one to be able to practice and train their voice.
Got it. I totally agree with you. A lot of times people they tell you um they tell you like you shouldn't do something, but they also don't tell you, okay, yeah, like how, right? Uh so why did you choose Replit?
Yep. So first of all, it's I like Replit because Replit has a lot of like integrations built in. Um, they also have like their own like native database built in as well. So for someone who is like not technical like myself, um, out of all these different tools I try, I think this is the one that's easiest to use. Um, also happens to like from like a UI output perspective, it happens to give me the most refined, most polished UI on the same prompt out of different tools that I try. So it turns out to be my tools of choice because of all these reasons.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how much time have you spent already playing with Replit compared to like have you like have did you get a chance to play with like Cursor or like Lovable or the other guys?
Yep, try Lovable, try Boat. As I said, right, on the same prompt, in the early days when I test them, I would give them the exact same prompt and I will assess the output mainly on the design perspective. As I said, turns out Replit gives me the most polished one that I like the most. And
Hmm.
also because of the native database that it has, a very simple like key table, I believe it is. But it turns out to be the easiest for me to use. As I said, that's why I decided to stick with it.
Got it. Okay. So, please demo this for us.
Yes, for sure. So I believe I've shared my screen. So um, I'm on my Replit instance. So you're seeing the actual voice coach uh, demo here. So the way how I approach it, I just want to talk about how I approach this.
Hmm.
Nowadays when I start before I start building anything, right, I actually work with chat gpt on the side to create a prd and also create a implementation plan before I actually interact with Replit. The reason I do that is because through chat gpt it actually gives me a safe space for me to refine my idea and also the implementation plan. Replit actually has a plan mode that you can also do the planning. But the problem with that is like you're also using your precious credits by interacting with the Replit AI agent. So the cost will quickly add up through that. So that's why I take my planning offline, I mean, out of Replit by using ChatGPT, right? So I would feed ChatGPT what my idea is. I'll describe the basic user journey and experience. It'll give me a full-blown PLD, and then from there, I'll ask it to give me a modular development plan where if implement in sequence, it will give me that end experience. So what that does is it will force ChatGPT to break down the whole implementation into bite-sized chunks, different milestones. So by implementing those milestones like step by step, right, it will give me this end experience. That in that way, it allows me to find a tighter control. Basically, each and every one of those milestones is like a checkpoint where I can review and basically iterate if needed, right? For example, one of these steps, I will have it to basically create me the UI kit and all those components that will appear in this, right? In this way, right, I can actually see what those outputs are and modify if needed before I move on to the next plans. I find this gives me the most control. Now it is my go-to methodology. I just want to throw that out. How does it sound, Rich?
I mean, like, so I've heard sometimes like Claude is like better for coding,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the user. Did you only use ChatGPT or did you also use Claude as well?
You know what? Funny that you brought up Claude because I actually just installed Claude Code in my Replit project. I'm
Uh-huh.
just shipping the shell right now.
Uh-huh.
So I just found out that you can actually install Claude Code into your Replit project. And you can actually use directly Claude Code in your Replit instance when creating, like doing the build process for you. So I'm still experimenting on this right now, but the idea is that, again, back to the cost control piece, right? If you directly interact with Replit agents, it will just eat up your credits very quickly. Cost adds up, right? But if I interact with Claude Code first, in this case, right, I can actually use up the Claude Code prompt limits, which actually resets every 5 hours, I believe, if you're on a pro plan, right? So in that case, it doesn't touch your rapid credits, but you can still basically build by using Claude Code inside your Rapid. So I'm still testing this, but glad that you brought it up because I'm actually experimenting on that right now. Maybe we can do another podcast like in the future just to see the results of
We're gonna do this thing next week to make sure you're accountable with your homework here. Uh, okay. So yeah, I think that's a very smart way to go about it because a lot of these actually no, the entire business model is predicated on how often you're using it, right? So they actually, I noticed with a lot of these companies, they don't provide that much education in how to use it.
Right.
And that's why prompt libraries have also been selling so well, is because if you have the right prompt, you're gonna get a much better result, and thus you're using it less. So people are selling prompt libraries, wholesaling actually prompt libraries, so that people don't go through that trial and error. For
Right.
myself too, even if I have a very basic prompt, uh like just trying to find the prompt, I would say like I need your help creating a prompt to help me do this. I would use something like DeepSeek or Gemini to create the prompt first, and then I would add the prompt that that machine create, like DeepSeek or like Gemini would create, and then I would pop that prompt into like OpenAI or actually into Claude. So I'm like kind of saving that on the back end. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Can we demo this voice basically the voice coach? Like would you be
Yep.
speaking into it or
Yep, I will speak into it. I'll show you how it works, right? So right now, again, we're on the Voice Coach homepage. Right now, you can actually choose between an assertive voice profile or a friendly voice profile. With a little bit of this explanation what they are, there's a tooltip here that explains how they should sound and what's the purpose behind this profile. So for now, let's say I want to train my voice to sound more assertive. So I choose the assertive profile and I go ahead and click continue to training. That brings me to the record screen. Here, there's basically three parts here. Number one, it gives me a practice script that I can use to practice. I can choose between a male or female voice, there's a reference audio where if I click play, the AI will basically speak this practice script in the selected voice profile so that you know how it's supposed to sound. Now, for example, let's say I click this.
I recommend we invest in training for the team. This will improve efficiency and help everyone stay current with industry best practices.
Right. So it gives you an idea how it should sound, so that when you start recording yourself, right, you can basically try to mimic that. There's a little bit of coaching tips here to basically inform me what are some of those key points I need to pay attention to. The last part of it is the actual recording. This is me now recording my voice. So if I click start recording, I can start speaking, basically rehearsing this practice script here. So let's do that. I recommend we invest training for the team. This will improve efficiency and help everyone stay current with industry best practices. So you'll see that after I recorded my script, this needs some calibration, by the way, okay? But you can see that, first of all, you can basically hear your own playback. You can keep retrying until to a point that you feel satisfactory. But the idea is that the AI will basically assess your voice, your performance, and give you an overall score. It will also rate you and rank you with these different levers. Now, some of these like doesn't seems right to me, quite frankly, right? It says volume. I'm like over 1,000% too loud compared to the ideal. So a lot of these still need some calibration. But the idea is that, right, this now becomes a on-demand coach that I wish I had early in the career, right? If I want to practice my voice, now I can go to this voice coach and keep repeating, keep practicing, keep generating new scripts, and keep having the AI assess my voice. Practice makes perfect in this case, right? So to a point, I can finally internalize how a assertive profile would sound like. To a point, I can internalize how a friendly profile in the future, we can have more profile, how these different profiles will sound like in real life. With more practices, I can basically vibrantly and robustly switch to different profiles in a conversation, depending what the situation is. And that's the idea behind this, right? Allow someone to train how they present themselves so that they can be more and more effective communicator.
So let's just say if you were to go ahead and do the friendly voice, so it's actually assessing for like friendliness. The two things that you actually played out was like assertiveness and friendliness. Can you think of maybe one other use case?
Yep. So one of the voice profile I'm about to implement to add on as like a new one is a calm profile, right? So all these different voice profiles has different use cases. Assertive, for example, right? In the situations where you have to do a presentation as a product manager, right? You want to drive alignment about teams, right? You want to sound confident. You want to make sure your leaders, your stakeholders can have confidence in what you're proposing. You want to sound assertive. You want to sound like you actually know what you're saying, right? A friendly voice profile will be in a like a social situation where you try to sound friendly, vibrant, positive, with energy, where you can build rapport with your team members. A calm profile, on the other hand, will be something that can be used in a like a one-on-one situation. Let's say you're a product leader, right? Um, and your team members bring you like a urgent emergency situation. Everyone is panicking, right? And you want to basically at that time be that calm presence where you can like calm everyone down and continue to lead the situation. You want to sound calm, you don't want to sound panicking, you don't want to sound, I mean, in some cases, you want to sound assertive because you want to instill your leadership presence in the situation. But the idea is that you want to diffuse the situation, right? As I mentioned, there's also this one-on-one use case where someone you're trying to give like a feedback to your team members, right? You want to sound calm, friendly in such way, in a certain way that you can, build that rapport, but also have this more close, tight knit conversations. so that someone, your audience or your one-on-one audience can actually open up, right? So there are different use cases with different voice profiles. Some people that I work with, some people that I know can actually like, vibrantly shift different voice profiles in the same conversations. And that's how effective communications would look like.
Got it.
Yeah.
It looks to me like I'd say the last thing is the everything seems to be ranked pretty well, except for obviously we need to work on clarity. We need to work on clarity number one. It sounds like it's the area that needs the most improvement. It's like negative 549. We need to go ahead and work on pitch variation is next, and then pitch level. So let's see here. You also have some coaching tips like lower your pitch significantly to project more authority. Speak from your chest rather than your throat. So when we have pitch variation, reduce excessive pitch variation, maintain a steadier. Okay, so that's actually some feedback. And then we've got clarity, which is I think it's probably like that last one down there, which is like your dynamic range is slightly excessive. More consistent volume will
Yeah.
sound more professional. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is actually a really good voice agents right now is probably one of the areas voice is getting the most amount of investments. I mean, most recently, ElevenLabs, they just got a huge check from NVIDIA. So I think if you were interviewing, both if you were interviewing for a product manager role, and then also presenting like a side project or having something fun to work on, this is a fantastic side project. Um, I can't think of anything else to ask you, man, but this is I think something that people could actually use. Did you have anything else to say before we go ahead and wrap it up today?
Yeah, no, thanks for your feedback on this, right? One of the things I know I need to work on is to continue refining the accuracy of some of these like assessments. Obviously, I have plans to actually, there's like a phase. This is like MVP, right? Basically, so I have plans to improve it with some fast follow features as well. So I'm looking forward to continue to work on this. But one thing that I learned throughout this experience is, and I can just can't help but to be amazed by how far we have come with like all these AI assisted toolings, right? For someone who's non-technical like myself, right? Nowadays, you as long as you know how to prompt an AI, you can actually build something. So I just can't help but to again feel really amazed by the possibilities, right? Um, I really like the process of this. One thing I'm really looking forward to Titan is to test on the Claude code install that I just completed earlier and see how it works and continue to refine this process. Um, yeah, I think I'll really looking forward to try that and maybe share more tips with you on that one. But for now, yeah, I'm really enjoying the this whole experience. Can't wait to continue to refine this and eventually, hopefully, launch this to production.
Got it, man. Okay. Well, give me a second here. Yeah, that's all there is for me. Uh, for everybody else, we have a brand new product management, AI product management cohort that's starting at the end of the month. Please schedule a call with us. Get your side projects up and get it showing. This is I would say, the most straightforward and most effective way to go and landing your next product manager role. Kai, thanks so much for your time. I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thanks, Rich. Thank you.